Morning show. I'm Alex Lee.
And I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. Let's check in with meteorologist Mike Vivetta on your New Jersey weather forecast.
Good morning, ladies. We've got a beautiful day ahead. A nice warm, little bit humid start to the weekend. After starting off the week with a little bit of extra humidity and clouds, now we transition to a drier pattern for next week, but it comes with a little bit of rain in between, and that rain is forecast for this weekend. We look outside this morning to quite a bit of humidity with temperatures beginning around 60 degrees up in northern New Jersey with some fog. That fog will eventually lift and bring back lots of sun this afternoon with a few passing clouds, but the highs impressively warm in the upper 70s, unusual, especially as we head into the second week of October. Some weather headlines for you on this Friday. Throughout the last few days, it's been a little wet. We've had dry, beautiful weather yesterday, and I think we'll get that again today. But it's the shower threat that returns on Saturday that leads to some more rain by Sunday, and that is going to be due to a storm offshore, which might even cause some coastal flooding along the shore neighborhoods. Then into next week, it'll look milder and more pleasant as the sun returns, and we're back in the low 70s come Monday. Highs today a little bit above average, but we drop at least 10 degrees for the weekend with a very cool feel and, of course, some showers around. We've got more details coming up on that 7-day forecast. That, Alex and Lisa, just a few minutes away.
Much.
Beautiful.
All right, Vice President Kamala Harris will visit New Jersey today. Harris will discuss getting vaccinated and a key part of the federal spending bill moving through Congress, child care. Her office says she is set to visit Newark and Montclair. Just last month, President Biden came to our state where he toured Manville, which was ravaged, as we know, by the remnants of Hurricane Ida. This week, Governor Phil Murphy held a town hall meeting.
Extraordinary leader, extraordinary senator.
Okay, he held a town hall. It was over the severe damage, I guess, as we started to hear from the tropical storm Ida. That is, it involved representatives from state and federal agencies reporting on the assistance that is available, from rebuilding to mental health support. Even
after 18 months of this darn pandemic, you feel like, I remember saying this in Milburn, where a ton of small businesses got wiped out. You just feel like you're just barely getting back on your feet. You get clobbered again, and it's no surprise that there's a lot of mental health stress out there.
New Jersey Senator Cory Booker also participated in the town hall and spoke about loans that are available to help rebuild.
There's so many people still dealing with this fallout with insurances and
a true nightmare, really.
It really is a true nightmare. And, I was thinking about this the other day. Hurricane Sandy obviously was at the forefront of the conversation in this state for months, if not years, after it happened.
Yeah, years. We're still talking about it.
This disappeared after a matter of days, I feel like. I wonder why that is. Maybe the news cycles are just too quick nowadays.
There's too much going on in the world, I guess.
On to other news. Governor Murphy announced that New Jersey school districts will be required to report all testing and vaccination data for staff and students starting October 26. This comes as COVID cases in schools have gone from 100 to 379 in the past 2 weeks.
All right, it's been a tough year and a half for many kids and their parents, of course, juggling homeschool and working from home. What should parents do to make sure their kids are on track academically? So joining us to talk about this is Jane Ellen Duffy, and she is from Jersey Can. Good morning, Jane Ellen. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right. So tell us about your organization, Jersey Can. A little bit more detail, please.
Sure. Jersey Can is a nonprofit organization, and we've been in existence for about 8 years. And we work to make sure that all kids across the state have access to high quality schools.
That's great. What are some of the concerns that you're hearing from parents and teachers?
Yeah, well, as you guys mentioned, it's been a really tough 18 years, 18 months.
Yeah.
Also valid.
Like that some days. It's been a really tough 18 months, for parents and for educators and for district superintendents and for everyone. And, we've heard from polling and from research that we've done that parents and teachers and educators want to make sure that, of course, kids are healthy and safe as they go back to school, and they want to make sure that they're supported. But also we want to make sure that they're getting back on track academically as well, too. As you know, students have lost time due to the disruptions of learning that have occurred as a result of COVID. And we want to make sure that we are doing what we can at Jersey Can to provide parents in particular with tools so they can work with teachers in schools to help their kids get back on track.
Absolutely. I mean, it's very necessary. Now, what should parents do if they have a concern about academics or COVID, or making sure the child's needs are met in whatever capacity?
Exactly. Well, we put together a one-stop shop website called can'twait.jerseycan.org. And that's really trying to can't wait, like kids can't wait to get back to learning. Teachers can't wait to get back to teaching them and digging in. And also they can't wait, they've got to get back on track and get going in terms of digging in with their academics. And so parents, what we did on our website, this one that I'm describing, is we created a set of tools and resources for parents. There are things like just simple as reaching out to a teacher, talking with your child's teacher, even in advance of your parent-teacher conference, and talking about what you've observed as a parent over this last 18 months, what needs you've seen from that have emerged from your child. There's also, we curated a whole set of guides for parents around how to gauge how your child is doing academically, little checklists and some of them are kind of fun to just understand if your child, how your child is doing. And then also it's just a set of questions. Parents have questions. They want to know, what they can do, and how they can help get their kids back on track. And so we teed up a set of questions that parents can raise with teachers in schools.
What's the feedback been from visitors to your site?
It's been great. People are really going on the site, clicking all around. It has a lot of rich content on the site. Not only do we have these tools for parents and this checklist for parents that I mentioned, but we also at Jersey Can did studies over the past year to look at districts that are really leading by example, districts and charter schools that have implemented some evidence-based best practices to address students' needs. And so people are clicking on those as well too. So there's really been good feedback. We've had a lot of parents reach out over Facebook and on social media. And I think people are hungry for this information now that, kids are back in school full time. Thank God. And now that, sort of gone through the first month of school and kids are getting reacclimated, now we can really dig in and think about how are we addressing their needs, what can be done to address their needs. And both parents are looking at both those tools that we provided and these example districts and schools. And it's just really exciting to say.
Before we wrap up, please give us your website.
Sure. It's can'twait.jerseycan.org.
Jane Ellen, excellent. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank you for having me. All right. Thank you.
Have a great day. So, Alex, it is officially the start of Columbus Day weekend. Normally, it's so busy for me because I usually MC the Morris County Columbus Day Parade.
Yes, you do.
Unfortunately, canceled again. We'll be back
again.
Next year, bigger than ever. Well, because of COVID.
Yeah, right. Understandable, but we
The
missed
the planning starts in January for Columbus Day. So
Sure.
unfortunately, we couldn't get ahead of it. But the holiday is celebrated by many Italian Americans, and it has become a hot button issue in recent years. Many schools in our area have been opting to change the day to Indigenous Peoples Day. Joining us now to talk about Columbus Day is Anthony, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce this, Anthony. Say your last name. I don't want to flub it.
Benjivenga.
Benjivenga. My grandparents are cringing right now that I couldn't pronounce it. Benjivenga from the Italian American One Voice Coalition. Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning to both of you, and thanks so much for that nice introduction.
Yes. So obviously, Christopher Columbus and Columbus Day is so important to the Italian American community. Please explain to our viewers why that is.
Well, even since the last century, Columbus has been a figure in Italian American culture. They celebrate our heritage during the Columbus Day period and the whole month of October, actually. But Columbus Day is the most important day. And in the late 1800s, there was lynching of Italians down in Louisiana of 11 Italians and that were innocent, that were acquitted on charges, trumped up charges, and they were acquitted. And the mayor and a mob took them out of their homes and lynched them all. They were also, many Italian Americans were put into negative stereotypes during that period. And as an atonement, in the late 1800s, they started to celebrate Columbus Day. Not only the Italian Americans, but the President of the United States and various states were supporting that. And over the century, many towns and cities around the country, especially with heavy Italian American populations, have celebrated with parades and feasts. The New York parade is on Monday, is very important to us. We're going to be marching in that parade, and hundreds of thousands of people watch. And now we're getting people saying, well, we have to celebrate instead of Columbus. We're celebrating our heritage on Columbus Day, but they want to replace it with Indigenous Peoples Day. Now, Indigenous people, Native Americans, have a day, well, 2 days during the year. It's August the 9th, recognized by United Nations. And also the day after Thanksgiving has always been recognized as a day to celebrate Native Americans. So we're not against that. We think they should have a day or a month, which is November. They do have the month, but we just want to keep Columbus Day to celebrate our heritage.
Fair enough. All right, Anthony, Columbus is revered in many parts of the world outside the U.S. Why is that? How is he viewed elsewhere?
Well, I'll give you an example. In April, I was in Puerto Rico on one of the first trips after COVID. And the first thing they took us to on a tour, I was in Old San Juan, was a gigantic monument. I didn't even realize what it was, but it was a gigantic monument. And it was Columbus. And the tour guide, being probably mixed Native and Taino and European, he described Columbus as a great explorer who came to this hemisphere first from Europe and joined the two hemispheres by his 4 voyages and those that followed. So that's an example in San Juan, which is part of the United States, but it's got a big Hispanic population. Also in Venezuela, Colombia is named after Columbus. In Italy, in Genoa, they have a large monument to Columbus because they're proud that he was born there. And he's looked at positively all over Italy. In fact, in Positano, there's a street named after Christopher Columbus that I noticed when I was in Positano 2 years ago. So he's noted all over the world as one of the first, the most important navigators of his time. And the fact that he brought the first Europeans to this hemisphere. I mean, it wasn't to the United States, continental United States, but it was to the Central America. He made trips to Venezuela and various islands during his 4 voyages.
I know last year you were talking about monuments. That was a very, very hot button issue last year in the midst of all the other craziness happening in the world. But do you see that the effort to remove Columbus Day and the statues, do you think that's been losing steam now?
Well, we've organized through One Voice and various Italian American organizations, we've organized our own, we stood up to these protests, removing monuments. First of all, most of the monuments that were removed weren't removed by Native Americans. They were just moved during this woke movement after the George Floyd incidents. And we're kind of surprised because what would Columbus, the relationship with Columbus, have to do with that? But they just started knocking down statues, and it seemed to have calmed down a little now. I mean, we don't picture a protest in New York, and some of the New Jersey towns that were considering changing Columbus Day, we showed up at the town halls or at their Board of Education meetings, and we've educated them about Columbus, and they were surprised about the reasons Italian Americans use Columbus Day historically for celebrating our heritage.
Yeah. Anthony, where can people find out more about you and your organization?
Okay. You can find out more from Italian in One Voice, by Italian American One Voice .com, and you can easily contact any one of us that are listed on that site. We also have Unico National at unico.org that they can contact me. I'm a second vice president of Unico. And there's also the Conference of the Presidents of Italian American Organizations that offers pamphlets and education about that. But I welcome anyone to contact us at our website.
And I know you said you're going to be celebrating on Monday in New York City in the parade. Are you doing anything else around the
Yes,
state?
tomorrow I'll be, well, last night I was at the Clark Township Festa. They do every year, and it's from Thursday to Sunday. There were hundreds and hundreds of people. It was brightly lit, and it's start of such a good weekend. It's probably going to be crowded all weekend. But we've gone to some town halls and got proclamations about Italian heritage on Columbus Day. Saturday, that's tomorrow, I'll be at the Scotch Plains Fanwood Monument. There's a globe in honor of Columbus that was shipped from Genoa, and it's in the town center, and there'll be a ceremony and refreshments on Sunday in Westfield, New Jersey at 10 o'clock at the municipal building. We're having a ceremony. I'll be there speaking. And on Sunday afternoon, a lot of us are going to the Skylands at the stadium there, the baseball stadium, and they're renaming the field in honor of Columbus. And they have the statue dedication there that was ripped down in Newark, and they're putting it there. So there's a lot of organizations that will be at that dedication at 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon at the Skylands near Sparta. Also on Sunday afternoon, there's a big parade in Ocean County, and a lot of organizations have floats there, and there'll be a lot of Unico members marching as well. I won't be at that one because I'll be at the Skyland Stadium.
You're only one person.
Oh my gosh, you have a busy weekend.
We spread it out.
You do. And I'll be in East Hanover. They're actually doing a wreath laying ceremony at the Columbus statue in the center of town.
That's correct.
In lieu of our normal parade that we do every year. But as I was saying, before we interviewed you, we had to cancel because of COVID. But Anthony, this was so great. Thank you so much. Happy Columbus Day.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you so much for the wishes, and thanks for having
you.
me on the air. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
All right, next, how special needs kids are going to help create some new music.
You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Check us out at NJ Morning Show and follow the fun.
2020 felt like a dark tunnel. While 2020 is over, the impact is not. The pandemic affected both our physical and mental health.
We started the Cody Fund for Mental Health to change lives, so we want you to know about NJ211.
It's a referral service for anyone in crisis, even children.
I'm living proof that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
And it's not a train, it's help. It's NJ211.
The American Lung Association invites you to join us outside in 2021 for our Fight for Air Climb events. Now more than ever, we need you in the fight for clean air and healthy lungs. Let's go outside and climb, because every step counts. Visit us at lung.org.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Let's bring in one of our favorite Italian Americans on the program, Mike Favetta, for a check on the New Jersey weather.
Ciao,
it's
Mike.
always Italian American heritage, pride, day on the show, right, Mike?
I feel like it is. Yeah, we tend to lean heavy in that direction. Good morning to you both, Lisa Marie and Alex. We start off with some weather for the weekend that you might want to close your ears when you hear this, especially if you have plans outdoors. A lot of fall festivities happening here across New Jersey, whether you're going to a parade or whether you're just maybe trying to do the pumpkin picking or apple picking. Temperatures right now cool, but look at the fog that's developing, especially across the northwestern corner of the state, right down west of 287 and north of Route 80. You have a little bit of that fog that's working in and developing, which eventually gives way to clear sky later on today. It's all about that lower visibility that's actually dropping the visibility to less than quarter of a mile up there in Sussex County, about a quarter-mile visibility out toward the Bend, there by Garrett Mountain, over in Patterson, and even further to the south and west toward Somerville, 3-mile visibility. Again, all of this improves as the day goes along. Our weekend weather, town by town, shows that we start off with a little bit of rain tomorrow, especially across northwestern corner of the state. Temperatures much cooler than they will be today. Today we're in the 70s, tomorrow only the 60s. But a more significant rain likely by the end of the weekend because on Sunday there's a coastal storm that works its way offshore and throws back anywhere between 1 and 2 inches of rain, specifically for the southern portion of the state. So if you may be going to a football game, we've got Rutgers taking on Michigan State with a possible shower likely. Anticipate a cloudy, cool feel and temperatures that hold in the 60s. But if football's not your thing and maybe you want to enjoy a little bit of fall foliage, head up to the northern corner of New Jersey, even as far south as northern Morris County, up there by Lake Apatcong. You will have a little bit of color poking out in between the trees. I'm starting to see some colors up here in Morris County. I'm sure you're seeing the same. We're still about a week or two away from peak fall foliage, but overall, we've got some beautiful color to enjoy this weekend. However, next weekend, I think, that's really with the sunny, dry weather, we'll be able to enjoy some nice foliage drives here across New Jersey, even hiking up some of those trails in the northwestern corner of the state. Likely see peak color about 7 days from now. Can't wait for that. Kind of encompasses all that fall brings in here in the Garden State. Lisa Marie?
Thank you, Mike. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, we're just about at peak leaf peeping season, I think
Yeah,
it's
we
safe
are.
to say, huh? People are big into leaf peeping. All right, Mike, thank you so much. This weekend, a new music track will be recorded here in New Jersey. It features a rock band accompanied by special needs kids. Joining us is the founder of the nonprofit Hometown Heroes for Special Needs and the host of the TV show Hometown Heroes, Scott D'Antonio. Scott, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Great to be with you.
Thanks for coming. Now, tell us about your organization, Hometown Heroes for Special Needs.
Okay, Hometown Heroes for Special Needs. We've been at it for maybe about 5 or 6 years. And we've been doing, I'm a contractor. I've been using my contracting business to do, home helpers, repairs, for not only for special needs, for, most charitable organizations. And we'll offer a day of service. And we also, provide other things. We try to help as many people as we can in the community. And we're looking to do more and, branch out and get more funding and grow our organization.
So what's happening this weekend? I know you put a band together and you're heading into the recording studio.
We are. I'm a musician also. We wanted to do something a little different. We wanted to include the kids, special needs kids, as well as other kids. I feel a lot of disadvantaged kids and adults are excluded from a lot of the activities that a lot of us take for granted. So I figured, let me write a song, and if I can get a kids chorus to sing the song with us, they'll have a sense of inclusion. It'll be their song. It'll be our song. It'll be a community song. I think that's really strong, and that's really cool for some of these kids that are not included in things to be included on a sing-along rock song. I think that's very cool.
So
I'm jealous. I want to be on a rock song. So what is the song that you're recording? What is it about?
Well, it's called Everybody All Together Now. It's a song about unity. It's a song about everybody coming together, helping one another. You may not know your neighbor's face, but we all share the same place. Music's a unifier worldwide. It's open to everybody. Everybody loves music. There's no division. There's no politics. It's something that brings everything together. Music is also very beneficial to special needs children. And I've learned that over the years doing my work. So I figured, let's do a positive song. Let's get people in the community. We reached out. We've gotten more than enough help with musicians and organizations. Everybody's helping. We got free studio time. This thing got a lot larger than I thought, but it's all positive, and I'm so proud that everybody's helping us. I really am.
You should be.
Yeah, this is so great. Scott, how did you get involved in helping families with special needs?
Well, I have a special needs person in my family, and that really got me started. And plus, doing the work and being able to doing the work, being a contractor has opened my eyes to seeing what people need, what parents go through, myself included, the difficulties, financially, mentally, physically. It's very exhausting. What parents need to do if they have a child or if it's an adult. And I've been in a lot of these homes, and I've had a lot of these people struggle. They don't know where to turn. We get calls and emails all the time. How can you help us? Do you know anybody? So I feel like a lot of these families and people are left out, and they don't know where to turn. So I figured I'm going to use what I have, being a contractor and being a musician now. I'm going to help these people. I'm going to reach out to charitable organizations. I'm going to try to do as much as I can while I'm around. That's where I'm at.
That's so nice.
That's incredible, and something that we should all strive to
Yeah.
to follow in the footsteps of. Scott, where can we get more information on Hometown Heroes, follow along, and check out everything that all the wonderful work that you're doing?
Okay, well, it's HH4SN, Hometown Heroes for Special Needs. We have our website. We're on social media. As we get more press, and thanks to your show, and New Jersey On Air has been with us from the start, people can find out about us. Even if you want to make a phone call, a donation, anything you want to lend a helping hand, we're open to having everybody join us. And I think this community song is really going to let people see what the community can do and how we want to help. So we're very privileged that so many people are helping us.
Amazing. We can't wait to hear the song.
Me too.
All right, Scott, thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
being here and all that you're doing, of course.
Thanks for having me. Thank you again.
Take care.
This week, the CDC came out with new guidelines for Thanksgiving. Did you hear about this?
I did not. Let's hear it.
Okay. First, they say if you're having a Halloween or Thanksgiving party, consider holding it outdoors or virtual. If you are hosting an indoor party, the CDC recommends opening windows and getting a fan.
Okay.
I mean, exercise common sense, number one.
That should always be number one.
The virtual thing, I can't do it for the
I will
holidays.
No, I can't
No.
do it.
I mean, even last year, obviously it was modified celebrations, but it was still, you need that.
Right. And obviously Mike would have more information on this than we would, and maybe getting closer, obviously. But sometimes I feel like in years past, it's still been so warm.
Oh, yeah.
Around Halloween, obviously, Thanksgiving, and even Christmas.
Yeah.
So maybe for me personally, like, if it's warm enough, if it's a viable option, the outdoor thing,
Yeah.
for sure.
That's
just
a good
to be safe.
happy medium. Yes.
know.
And I think when Mike gets on, we'll talk more about him. He was begging me to keep my pool open, like I think until Thanksgiving. So I think in his estimation,
it still open?
No, I closed it. But I think in his estimation, it's going to be warm
We're headed in that track. All right.
yeah, for quite some time.
That'll be good. It'll be good for everybody that finally wants to get back together and celebrate.
And please get back together and celebrate.
You should.
Don't
We
do the
need that.
virtual thing again. No.
No fun.
No.
All right. An estimated 82% of Americans will decorate in some form for Halloween, and they like to get them up early. I already see a lot of them up. A majority, 41%, put decorations up the first week of October. The number one preferred decoration nationwide is a skeleton. Based on a new survey, it tops people's love of pumpkin, witch, spider, and bat decorations. Skeleton, pumpkin, spider, witch, bat, ghost, tombstone, animal skeleton, black cat, corn stalks.
Okay, so number one, I saw people getting their Halloween decorations up like the day after Labor Day. No, just no. I can't even begin to think about it until maybe now, because now that the weather is getting cooler.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But when it's like 85 degrees, I'm not putting a pumpkin
Exactly.
outside.
And lest we forget that fall doesn't officially even start till September 21st, I want to soak in every last minute of summer.
Exactly.
Personally, I think everybody should just enjoy the season that we're in. don't be thinking about the next one. Like, I'm just getting the fall decorations up right now. I haven't even shoveled around for the Halloween decorations. Well,
mean,
you have a kid.
I have a kid, and I am going to decorate, but I didn't yet because it was too early. My summer flowers are still in bloom.
Oh, well, that's a sign.
Yeah, exactly. I can't throw them away.
No.
It's a waste, but I'm very excited for the season. But I guarantee there's going to be people November 1st putting the Christmas tree
Oh, you
up.
know it. You know it.
I don't know what the rush is, but
I don't know.
anyway, Lowe's is getting into the Halloween spirit early this year, scaring up a new opportunity for trick-or-treaters to fill their bags with candy. They're hosting Halloween trick-or-treat tryouts at stores nationwide to help make up for lost time last year because COVID prevented many kids from going door to door. There will be photo opportunities and lots of candy. You can sign up at lowes.com/trick-or-treat. I would totally be taking advantage of that.
Oh
If I was a child.
Listen, get your baby, go to Lowe's.
Yeah. I mean, maybe next
She can't
year.
eat the candy yet, but
Yeah, I can. Exactly.
All right, up next, why New Jersey is teaming up with 3 neighboring states to combat gun violence. And remember to check out the New Jersey Morning Show on social media. Follow us, like us, all that good stuff.
The American Lung Association invites you to join us outside in 2021 for our Fight for Air Climb events. Now more than ever, we need you in the fight for clean air and healthy lungs. Let's go outside and climb, because every step counts. Visit us at lung.org.
Swing the hips.
Oh boy, they weren't kidding.
You're looking for a gold crown?
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Let's get a weather check with our meteorologist, Mike Favetta.
Thank you. Good morning. And you mentioned the last few holidays, how you've noticed it's been a little warm around New Jersey. I could remember not too long ago having Christmas Eve dinner outside.
Yes.
Everybody went outside. It was
That's
in the
exactly
70s. It was humid. Yes, those are the memorable ones. And while we've had some cool and snowy Christmas Eves, there also have been some mild ones. Got to go back and do some data hunting, and I'm sure I'll put the intern on that, John, to look up the weather information. But yeah, there certainly have been some memorable warm Christmases, Thanksgivings, and even some big winter holidays here across New Jersey. But first, we also want to give a special thank you to those watching online on Facebook. We have a special mention from Pete. Pete is saying thanks for the foliage report. So even Pete is enjoying some of that lovely weather and
right,
will
Pete.
enjoy some
Thanks,
clear
Pete.
sky. Thank you, Pete, for watching today. We want to also get to that peak foliage report because with the foliage in tap and on tap for the next few days, our fall foliage will actually see a little bit of an increase in color throughout the rest of this week. So the northern sections of the state, we go through about mid-October is when we see the peak foliage. Again, that's about 1 week away through the central corner of New Jersey, right down along the Turnpike corridor, extending, a couple dozen miles in each direction. That tends to be late October, but early November is when we see some of those colors down toward the shore locations. Obviously, not many colorful trees there in the Pine Barrens. It's mostly green. But I think going into the early November, where you have some of those extra little great lovely shades of colors, you will enjoy those in about a month from now. So we still have plenty of time to enjoy. Now, going forward into the next few days, plan on plenty of rain. There is a coastal system offshore, and on the 7-day forecast, you'll see the showers on tap that will be present throughout tomorrow and even through Sunday. Plan on all around plenty of that wet weather to stick around going into tomorrow for your Saturday as well as Sunday, because as Sunday's weather rolls in, that rain gets pretty windy and rainy, specifically along the coastal sections of the state. So with a lot of the coastal influence from a storm offshore, we're coming up on our new moon phase, so that means extra high tide. There will likely be a little bit of coastal flooding as well. It's not looking pretty on Sunday, specifically along the shore points. Kind of windy, rainy, and cold. Just those lovely damp raw days that we get in October here in New Jersey. Now, by Monday, we start to see a little bit of clearing. There'll still be some clouds around for most of the day on Monday, but Tuesday starts to see some improvement, and then Wednesday is when we're right back into that lovely round of warm weather. Lots of sunshine, temperatures climbing into the upper 70s, feeling quite pleasant, even with a little bit of humidity working back in. And that's something that's unusual for this time of year, at least, and something you may remember about these warm holidays. It's unusually humid when it's this warm. So typically we get a nice dry, sunny, warm afternoon in October with very low humidity. That hasn't been the case recently. It's kind of felt muggy for the last few days, and that continues into most of next week with a little bit of that high humidity going forward for the rest of October. So, like you had mentioned, there's a few pool days in there that are all pool days, Lisa Marie, but I think overall, we're looking a little warmer than average for the next 7 days.
Thanks,
All right,
Mike.
well, I'll take that. But I mean, Mike, is it just like a meteorological mystery? Why is the rain always on the weekends?
Yeah, I know. When these patterns come in every 3 to 4 days and we get a shower, sometimes they line up with our weekends and it's not ideal. But this week was a good example where we had Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all kind of gray, cloudy days, kind of made you want to, it's like good napping weather.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was very
Dry
dark.
napping.
Too bad I couldn't take advantage, and probably neither could you guys. We're all very busy people. But,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Very
Working folks.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay, this next story is really incredible. Yesterday, a man fell 9 stories from a building in Jersey City and survived. He landed on a car and was severely injured. There are pictures and video of the man, which we can't show you here, but he can be seen conscious and in severe pain. This happened at the corner of Sip Avenue and Enos Place in Journal Square. No word yet on his condition, but reports from police say it may have been an attempted suicide.
Lots of emotions with that story.
I mean, first of all, like we said, it's incredible that he fell 9 stories and survived. It's like a miracle. And hopefully if it was an attempted suicide, this is kind of like a learning experience, a wake-up call for him, that life is precious and beautiful, and it shouldn't be wasted.
Yeah, exactly. New Jersey has joined a 4-state coalition with New York, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania to take on the issue of gun violence and an influx of guns trafficked from states with looser gun restrictions. Governor Phil Murphy held a virtual event with Governors Kathy Hochul, Ned Lamont, and Tom Wolf. The agreement means that law enforcement officers in all 4 states will now share information with each other on guns that were used in crimes.
In New Jersey, in the first half of 2021, the data released by our Attorney General's office shows that roughly 85% of the crime guns recovered here between January and July came from out of state.
New York Governor Hochul says that the COVID-19 pandemic has unleashed a spike in gun violence in the region.
Coming up next, why New Jersey reversed a law about selling home-baked goods.
Hallelujah for that.
I don't know why it wasn't legal before, but okay, we're happy about it. And remember, as always, to check out the morning show, the New Jersey Morning Show, on social media. Follow and like us and join in on all the fun.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
It's me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
it. Oh boy, they weren't kidding. Whew.
You're looking for a gold crown?
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Let's get a check-in now with meteorologist Mike Favetta with your New Jersey weather forecast. Hey, Mike.
Hey there, we've got a great day ahead. Lots of sunny weather, almost as nice as yesterday. A few extra clouds in the picture, but you know, it will feel almost back in the 70s, kind of like a late summertime day. Not exactly that cool, dry October weather that we've come to enjoy, at least seasonally. That comes in after next week because we're above average for at least the next 7 days weather-wise. And then when it does get cool, like this weekend when we'll be in the 60s, there's actually going to be a little bit of rain moving in for tomorrow and then a lot of rain for Sunday. I know that's probably the last thing you want to hear. We look forward throughout the next few days to plenty of cloud cover, especially beginning this evening with a little bit of wind working in off of the water, that easterly breeze, keeping the coastal neighborhoods much cooler than inland. So places like Long Branch and Atlantic City dipping down into the upper 60s by dinner time this evening. So throughout 6 and 7 o'clock, outdoor dining should be fine if you're inland, like back toward Morristown, maybe over by Princeton. You'll be in the low 70s with a mix of sun and clouds. However, along the immediate shoreline, it does get cooler, especially with that easterly breeze. And typically, when there's an easterly wind, like tonight, there's also a little bit of mist and drizzle, so keep that in mind. If you had outdoor dining plans, might want to move them inside for tonight, especially as that wind pushes in and gives us a little bit of a misty, drizzly, and cool feeling along the shore points. The 7-day forecast has a weekend with quite a bit of, well, mist and drizzle tomorrow. It's not looking all that great, especially with temperatures a solid 10 degrees cooler than they'll be today. You can thank that wind for the reason of it being much cooler, and some spotty showers on and off through the day. Sunday brings back a lot of rain, and that's due to a coastal storm offshore. Rain, wind, likely some heavier downpours in there, specifically for southern New Jersey, with a little bit of extra wet weather lingering into Monday morning. Now, by Monday afternoon, the clouds start to break for some clear sky, but I really think we're right back into the lovely sunny pattern by Wednesday. So a few days of wet weather and clouds before we get to enjoy a little bit of a warm-up around here. It's usually as we head further into October, we get cooler. Well, at least on the 7-day, as we head further into October, we get warmer and more humid because it doesn't exactly get dry for the next week. A little bit of high humidity on the way as we wrap up the first week of October and enter a little bit more of a kind of cool pattern for the weekend with warmer, sunny weather on the way for next week. Lisa Marie and Alex?
Mike, have a great weekend. Go Giants.
Yes, go Giants.
Big game. I know, sorry. Do you know, by the way, we are in the presence of an Eagles fan. No comment.
That person shall go unnamed, right?
We actually left Mike speechless. That doesn't happen too often. But in my opinion, better than a Cowboys fan because...
Ugh, disgusting. Yes.
At least we have that.
Yes.
We have that.
We have this common ground, so we
Eagles.
can continue to coexist right now.
Who do you guys have this weekend?
We are playing. Who are we playing? I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, we're playing the Cowboys.
Yes. Well, we had them last week.
Big, yeah. Well, that's why it's a must win. I mean,
Mhm.
Giants, they had a huge
victory,
and hopefully we can
Giants
start
and
capitalizing.
Jets both won last weekend.
In overtime.
Insane.
I mean, what are the chances?
Good morning,
right?
New York. Thanks for showing up to the season.
Thank you. Oh. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
So home bakers in New Jersey have been fighting to change the law for years to get the state to lift its ban on selling home-baked goods. It looks like it has finally happened. Joining us is Elizabeth Sibutaru from the New Jersey Home Bakers Association. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, girls. How are you?
I know that this is a big win for home bakers. So tell us, what is changing?
Oh my gosh, huge win, huge win. Everyone is so excited. All of the bakers across New Jersey, home bakers. hobby bakers that have been waiting so long. Can't wait to get on there on the health department's website and finally apply for a permit because now that the regulations have been posted and there are applications on the website, it's a go. It's live, and we can start baking and selling.
So incredible.
As it should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's crazy to me. I don't obviously know much about it, but it's just crazy to me that this wasn't already the case. So in the past, if you wanted to get started selling baked goods for home baked goods, you had to rent a commercial kitchen. I could imagine this acted as kind of a barrier for a lot of people.
Yes, absolutely. In the past, you did require a commercial kitchen. There was a stipulation that you could build a commercial kitchen in your own home, which of course costs a tremendous amount of money. It would have to be inspected constantly. It would be like a brick and mortar business that you would find out in the retail world. It would be more retail. Many other states had adopted cottage food laws that allowed for home baking. And we were the last state to cross this line. But now people that are working full time, that have full time jobs, or are single mothers, or are on some sort of disability, or have dealing with the regular things that we deal with in this very harsh life we have, are able to do this side job, this side gig, this additional income producing hobby. And a lot of them are so good at it that they could own a brick and mortar place, but they just can't afford it. So starting small, starting in your home is the best outcome for all of these people. It's the best thing that could have happened, to start getting some income into their home to help for additional things like their kids' sporting events, maybe helping out with the rent or whatever it is that they're dealing with. It's not a huge retail business, but it is so helpful.
Yeah. So what will the permit process entail? What is the cost associated? Do they need insurances?
Okay, so like opening any business, they have to do their research on how much insurance would be, depending on their coverage, their costs. They do have to open a legitimate business. They can go with an LLC, or there's a lot of research material involved before you start any business. So it would be along the same lines. As far as the permit is concerned, and I don't have it in front of me right now, so don't quote me, but
It's okay.
it's about $100. I think it covers 2 years, and it's a simple permit process. You go on there, you apply, you put your you get a number associated with your business, with your home. You share your address, your information, what you will be baking, the ingredients and the items that you will be baking. And then the health department, requires a ServSafe, or not necessarily a ServSafe, but some sort of certification that you've gone through a food management course. And they have on their website listed the ones that they approve. And they have on their website a dozen links that, explain and frequently asked questions, and they just have everything so set up. Any baker can go on the website, go to cottage food law link, and then underneath there, they have all the links, additional links, the application and the regulations and what you're allowed to bake and what you're not allowed to bake. And it all has to be items that won't, that don't require refrigeration. That is the biggest, hugest thing that we need to abide by, is we need the permit, a certificate from a safety handler's course, and also that we're producing items that will not require refrigeration, which is a lot of items. There are tons of things we can make.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Why was this ban put in place to begin with?
I don't think that the ban was ever added to the system, to New Jersey's policies or rules. I think it has been it has always been, it has never been legal for as long as we can go back. There was never a law allowing it, so it just was not allowed.
Yeah.
So a new regulations had to be created to allow us to do this, because all the published regulations and criteria were all dedicated to retail business. Cottage food
we won't dwell on that
not a thing.
because that's crazy, and we're so excited. And I can only imagine how this must feel for entrepreneurs, because that's
Yeah.
what you are. If you're a home baker, you're an entrepreneur. So it must feel so good. It's a big win, like we said earlier. And we just want to thank you so much for coming on today to talk
Thank you so
about
much.
this.
Huge win. We're
Elizabeth.
super excited, and thank you for having me.
Yes,
Of
congratulations.
course. Of course.
Thank you.
Take care. All right, an Orlando donut shop, speaking of baking, is offering a special delivery service for Halloween. Shaka Donuts will deliver a dozen and a half dozen donuts. Well, they will deliver a dozen and a half donuts.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, like that though.
But the delivery person will be dressed as Stephen King's sinister clown Pennywise. I feel like this requires a trigger warning. I feel like a lot of people are freaked out by clowns. Complete with floating red balloons, but the donut shop says they will not deliver to schools or banks.
Well, the video is very creative. This is hysterical. I mean, that is pretty creepy.
Oh, my boyfriend would love this.
Great marketing play. You know, I have to say, I mean, granted, I was a girl version of Pennywise, but in 2019, we did an event with the Newark Department of Public Safety, their Halloween haunted precinct. So they decorated one of the police precincts as a big haunted house, and I went as Pennywise.
Oh my God, I actually remember seeing the pictures of this.
I mean,
you looked phenomenal.
The kids loved it. I don't know if the kids would like that clown, but I guess because I had the long hair.
I don't like that clown. I'm just
I
putting
wasn't
it
really.
out there. Please, if you're
suiting
watching
it.
this and you're close to me, please do not deliver me those donuts because no, thank you.
I was the hit of that event because I was dressed like that. The kids were coming up to me and they were pointing and laughing. It was a lot of fun. But
it is a
that guy
phenomenon.
was creepier
That is
because he
so
really tuned into the essence of that character.
I
I was
would
like
give
the
me
smiling
nightmares. That
Pennywise.
is going to give me nightmares.
Oh,
but I
boy.
guess that's the essence of the season, Halloween. You gotta
Yeah.
be spooked and scared.
Do you have your costume yet?
I have no idea, and I'm stressing out because I love to dress up for Halloween. So I got to think about this.
Well, I got to think about it for two people. Last week I was saying I was thinking about the Wizard of Oz, but too many people are doing that.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to think of something original. Please, if anybody out there has a Halloween costume recommendation for mother and baby, let's go. I want to hear them because I need to hear them. I only
You
have
got
a
to
few
do
more
something
weeks.
epic because she is a beautiful angel of a
thank you.
child.
Thank you.
And we can't wait to see the pictures.
I can't wait to take them.
Aw.
Well, thank you, Alex. This was a lot of fun.
This has been such a great time.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next Friday morning on the New Jersey Morning Show. And remember to follow along on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at NJ Morning Show. We'll see you next week.
Have a great weekend.